Pokemon Sword and Shield on the horizon, it's gotten me back into the Pokemon mood. So I figured every month I would review a Pokemon game, one from each generation. So that's why today, this is the second episode, and I'm bringing you a review of Pokemon Gold and Silver. And before we get into the review, here's a quick side note. I was not motivated to play this game whatsoever. After the, blasé reception that last review got, I was very skeptical when making this one, and I did not feel motivated to do it. Even playing the game didn't feel good. But the moment I booted it up, the moment I started my profile and picked my character's name, that was it. I was engrossed in the game, and I wanted to keep playing. I've been grinding my team up 5 levels every gym. I was full into the training. Unfortunately, life does get in the way, and I wasn't able to complete the game very quickly. It took me 2 weeks to beat the game, and I was hardly playing it on some days. But yeah, you know, life gets in the way, and stuff like that happens. But I was finally able to make the game complete. Not the post-game, mind you, but I've played the post-game dozens of times, I can review that. But I'll talk about the main game for the bulk of this video. So, without further delay, let's get straight into this review. So this game takes place 3 years after Red and Blue, in the new Johto region, west of the Kanto region, the setting of the last games. You play as another boy, Gold, Silver, or whatever you want to call him, who embarks on a quest to defeat all 8 gym leaders found in the Johto region. And along the way, you run into a smaller form of Team Rocket. After the player of the first games took down their leader, Giovanni, Team Rocket basically became aimless, headless chickens running around trying to do crimes and to summon their boss back. The main goal of them is to take over the radio tower and bring Giovanni back to Team Rocket. As you can see, these games compared to the last ones are very interlinked with one another, making this sort of a direct sequel to it. This game features 251 Pokemon, with everyone from the first game, as well as 100 new and original species never before seen in the series, many of which are evolutions to older favourites, such as Blossom and Crobat, evolutions of Gloom and Golbat. As well as that, among the new 100 Pokemon are baby Pokemon. They are weaker and oftentimes cuter versions of already established Pokemon, such as Pichu and Igglybuff, baby forms of Pikachu and Jigglypuff. This was a way to promote the new feature in the game's breeding, which is the cornerstone of competitive play today, and has been a staple in the franchise ever since. Another cool thing added in Gold and Silver are 2 new types, those being Dark and Steel. They were made to balance and combat Psychic types, who were so overpowered in Gen 1. Starting in Gen 2 onwards, time has been added, thanks to the Gameboy Color's internal battery. This will affect what Pokemon appear on what routes, such as Ledybur and Spinarak in the morning, and Hoot Hoot at night. Since this game was built off Red and Blue, it makes sense that the gameplay is going to be near identical, and that's true. You still have the same battle options as Gen 1, but a few things have been added to spice up the battles. These include the aforementioned new types, hold items to make your Pokemon stronger or to heal HP all by themselves, an EXP bar underneath the HP bar to show how close you are to leveling up, and a slew of new moves for your Pokemon to learn. And also, did I mention it now supports full colour? Well, it does, and if I'm honest, these sprites are the best I've ever seen in an 8-bit game. The Pokemon actually look like what they're supposed to look like, and they look great. While I'm fanboying over the graphics, I might as well talk about the soundtrack, and I'll be the first to admit it. It is epic! There are so many songs I love in these games, from the climatic battle themes to the atmospheric town themes. These are truly masterpieces in their own right, and deserve every piece of praise they get. Here are just a few examples of their brilliance. I'll leave a link down below to a playlist with the entire game's soundtrack, so you can listen to it in full and see for yourself and marvel in its glory. The Johto region itself is very unique. It's a land rich in culture, much like its real-world counterpart, Kansai in Japan. A cool thing I noticed is that the gym types in Johto contrast those found in the Kanto region, and altogether make up every type of the type chart, except for Dark, because... If this video reaches 10 likes, I'll make a theory video about why this may be. In Johto we have Faulkner, the flying trainer, Bugsy the bug boffin, Whitney the normal type mentor, Morty the ghost channeler, Chuck the fighting guru, Jasmine the steel leader, Price the ice master, as well as Claire the dragon coordinator. The reason they'll contrast Kanto's types is because after you beat the champion of Johto, you get to access the Kanto region. This has to be one of the greatest post-games in any game I've ever played. You get to see how the area from the first game has changed in 3 years, and see some familiar faces too. A whole other region to explore, more Pokemon accessible prior to the post-game, 8 more gyms to face, and tons more. And these leaders in Kanto are Brock, the rock-type trainer, Misty, the water-type master, Lieutenant Surge, the electric user, Erica, the grass trainer, Janine, the daughter of Koga, the poison-type trainer from Red and Blue, Sabrina the psychic, Blaine the fire leader. And is that Pikey? Like I said, you'll meet some familiar faces along the way. As I stated earlier, Gold and Silver introduced 100 new Pokemon, some of which are some of my personal favourites, such as Heracross, Aipom, Umbreon, Ampharos, Cyndaquil, and many others. Despite being one of the smallest introductions of new Pokemon, being beaten by Alola and Kalos, ironically enough, I do think these have some of the most solid designs Pokemon have ever created. Whilst not as iconic as the Generation 1 guys, I respect these guys. They're pretty awesome in my opinion. So I've sung my praises about this game to Mount Silver and back, but here are a few things which really grind my gears. The player gets a cell phone in the game, which many NPC trainers across Kanto and Johto can call you on, if you accept their phone numbers. Don't! I always refuse, because otherwise they will call you constantly. And when that happens, you cannot ignore it. You have to answer the phone. However, if you do refuse their number, you won't get interrupted, no calls whatsoever, but you cannot get offered rematches by them, making grinding in this game a pain since the wild Pokemon are so low leveled compared to other games in the franchise. However, they did fix one thing from the last games, which I am so thankful for. The Safari Zone is closed. Yep, that means no more having to throw rocks at Chanseys only for them to run away the moment you do so, or waste all your Safari balls before the timer's out. Oh, and while this thing isn't really a complaint, it's the difficulty. No, not in the battles, God no. Most of those in Johto are so easy they might as well just give you the prize money. What I'm on about is some of the in-world puzzles, such as things to get your HMs. Now honestly, I don't usually look up things in Pokemon games since they're dead simple, but to get some of the HMs mid-game, I had to look them up, I had no clue. And this promotes you having to look in every house, in every town, looking for every nook and cranny you can find, which I think is a good message. It promotes people finding stuff, and in these Pokemon games, going into people's houses and taking items from them, that's really encouraged. I wouldn't encourage doing that in the real world, but in Pokemon, you never know what you're going to find, such as a HM. So there you have it guys, those are my thoughts on Pokemon Gold and Silver. Have you ever played the game before? What do you think of the game? And are you considering getting it? I love these games to death. These are some of my favourite games in the entire Pokemon series. The soundtrack is amazing. The Pokemon you can catch there are so variety. There's like so many different Pokemon you can catch. And every playthrough I've done is completely different to one another. So like I said guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.